and welcome to Tea Talk, where the topics are real, relevant, and relaxing. It's Tea Talk time, and here's Lady O.
Thank you, Tracy. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Tea Talk. Grab your tea, grab your beverage, whatever you have, so that you can relax and get ready to hear what the show has to offer today. I am so excited. We have another wonderful show. And the subjects here, like you said, they're real. They're relevant for what's going on today. And as we are going to be talking today, you want to make sure you go ahead and invite all of your friends, all of your neighbors, and especially if they live in Cy-Fair, because we're going to be talking about some things that every Cy-Fair citizen needs to know. Even if you're not a citizen just yet, if you're not voting age just yet, you still need to know what's going on in Cy-Fair that's coming up, that's so important and so relevant, and that's going to impact everybody inside Fair. So if you're in this community, I would encourage you to get on your phone and get all your contacts and tell them, hey, check in the Tea Talk with Lady O. She's about to give some very important information. Today, we're going to be talking about voting and how you can get involved to impact your community now and in the future. Do you know that what you do now or what you don't do now is going to impact your future? And so you can't wait till the future to say, oh, I wish I had her, or if I'd have known this. We're going to inform you today what is happening and how you can impact it now, because it definitely is going to impact your future. Voting is very, very important. Who you vote for is important. Who you don't vote for is important, because sometimes you can stay at home and don't vote for a person and then like, oh, I wish I had it. I didn't know. Well, listen, we're going to give you all the information that you need to know so you can not only know it, but you can respond to it and that you can pass it on to everybody else you know. It's like that grapevine, we used to always pass it on all the gossip, right? Don't do that. Pass on the good news, and the good news is what they need to know. And it's what you don't know that can hurt you. So I have some very special guests on here today. They're going to answer all of your questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. And they're going to read them to me, and we will answer every question. But let me just let you know now that they're so informed, they're probably going to answer all of your questions, and probably they will have information that you don't even know to ask. I've been in some rooms and they said, do you have a question? I'm like, I don't even know enough to ask a question. Can you just give me the information? Then I might have a question from it. So we're going to give you so much information. So by now, I hope that every one of you has tagged somebody, that you've called somebody. If you haven't, do that right now. It is so important. And then after this show, the good thing about Tea Talk is that you can share it every day after this is over, because there's so much great information, right? So from here until the day we vote, you need to keep sharing this information, okay? So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started here. We have some very wonderful people on the line here today, and my first guest is going to be one of my favorite representatives, Representative John Rosenthal. Woo! Welcome, Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I always have to invite you because during these times, because there's so much I don't know. And I know since this is what you do every day, so I'm depending on you to help me get informed and then help me get all of my audience and all the people that watch Tea Talk, get them informed. So tell us what's going on, what's coming up, what's important. Come on, get us started.
Well, so first, once again, thank you so much for allowing me to share the space with you. Today, I want to focus on the fact that we have an election coming up for us across the state, but here in Harris County, and specifically for us in the Cy-Fair Independent School District area. That election is going to be on November 7th, and then early voting starts October 23rd through November the 3rd. So people don't even know that we have an election coming up, because it's not like people like me are going to be on the ballot, or any of our governor, lieutenant governor. Folks who live in the city might be aware of the municipal elections and vote for mayor of Houston and all of that. But for us, we're just going to vote on some constitutional amendments that that were passed through the Texas legislature this last session, and we'll be voting for Cy-Fair Independent School District Board trustees. And that, of course, is going to be extremely important for all of us, because elections have consequences and representation matters. And if the folks out there watching want to make sure that you have representation that comes from your neighborhoods, that shares your concerns, we have got to get out and vote, or that's the only way to exert your true power, and make sure that there's representation for you on the board.
Now, and that's what's so great, is that we get to choose who sits on our board. Okay. And so if you don't vote, then people will choose the person that they want to sit on the board. So if you want to have a say so about what goes on in the district with your children and so forth, you got to put the right people in power, who's sitting at the table, because you can't sit there. So they're sitting there for you, so you're voting for them to be there, or you're not voting for them to be there, it's still going to impact you negatively or positively. So listen, we're going to talk about this. The school board makes so many different decisions that affect us. Representative Rosenthal, our children, but not only that, but what other impact does a school board have on us as citizens?
My goodness. So the business model of the district itself, how they're going to govern themselves, how they're going to operate, where they'll be spending money, choices like superintendent. The folks who have kids out here in the schools have been pretty happy with our superintendent for the last decade or so. Dr. Mark Henry's done a really good job, but he is stepping down at the end of this year. And the new school board will be picking our next superintendent, and they will have huge influence. And I hate to even put it like this. I mean, I know I'm an engineer in my head and in my heart, but now I'm a politician. And it really is sad that school boards have become the latest political battleground. And we just don't want that playing out for our kids. We want to make sure that we have trustees whose primary and only interest is to make sure our kids get the best education that we can provide for every child. We want an equitable model, and you've got to have trustees that you can trust to do that. If you look around, some of our neighboring school districts are really troubled right now.
Oh my.
And I'm sure that's all over the news. Folks can contact me if you want to talk about some of these political things in detail, right? I'm not going to go into all that, but we've done so well out here, and a lot of folks move out here because of the schools. I moved out here to keep our kids in Cy-Fair. So we just want to keep our school district whole and sane.
Exactly. And then in that order, huh? But the thing I did too, I moved out here because the schools, and my kids, all four of them graduated from Cy-Fair. I worked in Cy-Fair district, so I know it's a great district. But I think that what you just said, a couple of things there is very, very important, that the powers that be was starting from the top, the president of the United States, all the way down to the Supreme Court and our local Supreme Courts. All of those things are being impacted in the way that they want to take over the school board. And the reason they want to take over the school board, so they can control what goes on in our classes. I know Bishop just got back from Austin speaking on behalf of public schools, because they're trying to move it to vouchers. And if you got a school board that does not believe in public school and has a political agenda, we could be just like Houston, or even worse. So I think that's really important. And then they talk about, when you get your superintendent in there, if you get the wrong one in there, the monies and things that we need to spend on our kids could be spent somewhere else. But they decide all of those things, and those come from our tax dollars. So we definitely need to have the right people at the table and the right superintendent. So whoever gets on the board this time, they're going to decide who the next superintendent will be. So listen, let's talk about, what do we need to do, or how can we get to have the votes go the way we want them to go. That's right.
So we have a couple of groups who are operating in the space.
Okay.
My team, I've made no secret about the fact that I have been dedicated to trying to help in this school board election. I have raised some money, and I'm currently in the process of spending over $10,000 in this campaign. So folks that want to come canvass with us, and that's whether you want to make phone calls or knocking on doors, we're picking doors of people who are friendly, good, loving folks that we just want to let people know that there's a school board election coming up, because so many people don't even know. And so I'm doing it. I know we're going to have Dr. Tara Cummings on here. We got her group is also canvassing, but these efforts are happening all over in Sci-Fair. And so the two things that you can do, and this is your call to action, either hook up with one of our groups, go knock on some doors with us. If that's not your game, get all your family and friends to come out and vote. Bring some people with you. Make sure that you vote. Bring some people with you. You cannot be just one anymore. You have to bring it. And that is how we end up with good representation.
I like the way you said we got to bring it. Just don't bring yourself, because it's not going to get it. We want your vote, but we need to be, I think the right word is exponential, that we need our impact. Like, I know a lot of people, so I need to give the information to those people, inform them, and encourage them to come out and be participants, not just to go and just do their voting, but they need to rally everybody they know to bring it. And bring it means get them to the poll. By any means necessary, you need to rally everybody you know. And I mean that very sincerely, because I just remember that when Bishop was running this last time, he was so close to winning. But a few people just felt like, he's got it. And they stayed at home. And just those few people caused him to lose the election.
That's exactly right. And let me tell you that everybody watching this, you are an influencer. We talk about these influencers and social media and all that kind of stuff. It's not that fancy. You are an influencer with your friends, your family, the people that you know, the people that you go to church with. I'll tell you that just making a few calls can really make a big difference. And even if you only call people you already know.
Right. And Representative Rosenthal, being an African American, I'll just say this, and I don't know if it's like this for other churches, but back in the day, the only place we had with group was at church. And so we do believe in separation of church and state, but a lot of African Americans could not read, could not write. So their pastors had to tell them verbally what's going on, or the people who were running had to come to the churches and explain it and tell them how to do it, because they were working 2 or 3 jobs a day. They didn't have the luxury of people, bringing things to their homes. They were hardworking people. So one of the things that we do is we want to make sure that we spread it. We can't, at the church, tell people who to vote for, but we can give them the issues and tell them the importance of it and the consequences of them not voting. So if you are here listening to me too, and you have your groups, your churches, your fraternities and sororities, now this is the time that you get them together and take them. I don't want to say take them, but make sure everybody gets to the polls. Can you talk about why it's so important that everybody goes to the poll? This is not a voting time where we're voting for a president. A lot of people come out, they know about that. But this time, this is not voting for a president, but it's voting for the people who are going to be running your community and your public schools. So can you talk about the urgency? I don't know. If you want me, I'll ask Tara when she comes on as well.
I definitely can. So all politics at its heart, at its core, is local. And the people who are elected closest to you are the ones who can directly impact your lives and your families the most. And school board is that. I'm that way. If you want to reach into the Texas state government, you've got reps like me who will listen to you and carry your desires. Well, if it's so important to vote locally. And let me tell you this, the last time around, our voter participation in Sci-Fair was around 11%. It was really, really poor. And you talking about how how Bishop O lost by a very small margin. Just think if more of us had turned out to vote, because
Exactly.
the district, it's going to be a low turnout election, which means every single vote counts. Every call you make will make a difference.
Right. And so because of that, for people staying in and thinking, oh, he's got it, or I don't have time, or whatever, not taking it seriously, we do not have an African American represented at the table in this district for in the last, I think Bishop said 20 years. That's unheard of. I mean, we just really need everybody represented. I can't tell you, how important that is. And we've had so many people call us and we say, well, he's not on the board anymore. And a lot of them didn't vote. So they say, oh, I wish I had known. I wish I hadn't. So just don't sit this one out. Okay. So, Representative, I know we're going to come back and talk about a big event that we're having, but I think I want to bring Tara in here first and kind of hear what she has to say. Can you not go away? And then we're going to talk about this big event that's coming up. Okay. All right. Okay. So the next person on our show today is Miss Dr. Tara Cummins, and she is a community activist and in the Cy-Fair Strong Schools. Thank you so much for being on Tea Talk.
Thank you so much for having me. Listen, I was like chomping at the bit just now when John was talking and you were asking like, why is this so important? And it's important because, to me, it's important because public education is everything to me. I'm a first generation college student who went on to earn a PhD. Some of the most important people in my life have been public educators. I have 2 kids in Cy-Fair schools. And when I talk with them about some of the things, some of the ways that our public schools are being politicized nationwide, but we see the efforts happening locally. When I talk about that with my kids, I have a 7th grader, no, an 8th grader. Don't tell her I messed up. Grade. An 8th grader and a senior. And even my 8th grader, when I talk about some of the things, some of the books that they're trying to ban, some of the ways that they're trying to whitewash history, even my 8th grader, who does not think I'm cool for all of my political activism, is like, that's not okay, right?
Yeah.
So it's really coming down to like now or never. As it stands currently, our Cy-Fair ISD school board has 3 extremists sitting on the board that were elected last election, as you know. And this election, 4 seats are up. If we lose even a single seat to an extremist, and there are plenty of them running, then they hold the majority. And so all of those votes, all of the things that we see happening across the country in our neighboring districts like Katy ISD, with the book banning things happening there, that's coming for us. And they've been saying it, and they're saying it out loud, right? And so now is the time. I sit on the board of Cy-Fair Strong Schools, which is a local general political action committee. Our whole purpose is supporting Cy-Fair ISD, and our priorities are equity and inclusion. We want Cy-Fair ISD to truly live up to its motto of opportunity for all. And so for this election cycle, our focus is entirely on ensuring that we elect the very best school board trustees who reflect the incredible diversity of our district, who are highly qualified, and who are going to continue the progress, continue to keep Cy-Fair as strong as it is, and to help it continue to grow. And so all of the things that John was talking about in terms of knocking doors, getting ourselves voting, certainly, and getting our friends, family members, neighbors to vote, we have to start having the conversations about what's going on in the schools and about how important this election is. One of my favorite things to do during voting, I like to vote during early voting just because it's more convenient, first of all, but I like to make it a social event. And so I'll get together with friends. I'll make it we go vote and have brunch afterwards, or we go vote and have cocktails afterwards, right?
Exactly.
So having people like having a little bit of social pressure and a little bit of social fun to get them to turn out to vote. But as
make
part
it a
of
group event, make it a fun thing, just kind of
right.
and it's it's always better in groups. I know when I've gone to work the polls, it's really great when you have people there that you can talk with and laugh with between the people that are coming. But listen, I want to go back to a couple of things you said.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing I heard you say, it's now or never. Now or never. That's the urgency, because what we do now we may never get this opportunity again. We got it now. We cannot take it for granted. So we've got to make sure that those seats are filled with the right people, because once it's harder to get it back. Okay, so let's don't lose it. And then the thing that you said to extremists that are in there now, and one of those extremists is the one that replaced my husband. And so we definitely see the pattern coming. And when they were in there, it was the same thing. This political move came with this group of people to take over the board. And so they did get 3 of the seats, and now they're looking to get the rest of them. And when they do that, we're going to be looking at something just like Katie and some of the others. I mean, I saw some things the other day on the news about, they're having all kind of fights and battles in the school district with a lot of these people who are quote unquote patriots and whatever they want to call themselves. But the bottom line is, you need to realize it can happen to us. And what they're doing is strategically coming for Sci-Fair. And so I wanted to say that you said they're coming for us. That's what this is all about. That's why we cannot sit this out. Now let's talk about, okay, Sci-Fair Strong. Tell us what you guys have been doing lately to get us ready for this, and what can we do? What's coming up?
So we have, if you visit our website, which is www.scifairstrongschools.com,
Okay.
there's a section, a tab there that says 2023 election, and you can look up our endorsed candidates. So we have endorsed candidates. And so if you want, everyone should absolutely decide who that they are going to vote for themselves, right? But we spent a lot of time thinking about it. So please check that out and check out our endorsed candidates. We also have been working on spreading the word on who those endorsed candidates are and getting out the vote in terms of block walking. So on our website, under that tab, there is a link to sign up for all of our block walking events. We are block walking every single weekend and starting some weekdays as well once we get into early voting. And so you can come block walk with us. You don't have to have ever block walked before. You don't even have to know what that really means. We will tell you and show you, and we will go with you. If you need a partner in block walking, like John says, we're making sure that we are going to the doors of voters who are friendly to public education. They just need to be informed and know that this is now or never, right? That we really need them to vote. So we've been block walking, and we need more volunteers to do that. We
Okay.
also have
Now, let me did you put, okay, it is in the link. Okay, we do have a link in there, scifairstrongschools.com. So go there, and then that's the place that they need to sign up and volunteer. Also ask other people to do that.
Yes. And really it is fun. Block walking is, I don't like being outside and getting sweaty, and like it is fun though. I'm telling you.
You won't be going alone, right? You'll have somebody with them to show them the way. They just need to. And then once you learn it, then you just kind of go on your own. You'll find it's not intimidating, and it's a lot of fun, right?
And we will feed you breakfast. If you come to one of our breakfast ones, we will feed you breakfast. In fact, we've got a big one, like a super block walk, coming up on October 21st from 9 to noon at the Los Cucos on Clays Road. This is all available on our website and on our Facebook group of the same name, Sci-Fair Strong
Los Cucos, I love that place. Oh my goodness. Okay. So that's the one where we're going to be participating in too. The 21st, the big one, October 21st. And now which location is going to be at?
The Clay Road. So down in the southern part of the district.
I love that one.
Yes. And so we'll have one of the candidates, Dr. Cleveland Lane. He's one of our endorsed candidates, will be kind of the honoree at that block walking event. So you'll get to meet and hear from him. We'll have like a gazillion breakfast tacos. We'll teach you everything you need to know about block walking.
They're the best. Oh my goodness, those tacos are the best. And I'm not a drinker, but I heard their margaritas were really good too. Because a lot of our people that I know, my friends, they do love them. Yeah. And so let me get the time right. So Los Cucos on Clay Road. And that's at from 9 to 12. Okay.
Yep. We're trying to not keep us out in the hottest part of the day. So
if you get there at 9, or you have to get there at 8 we want to know what time we got to eat.
Just get there at 9. We'll sign you in. We'll get you your tacos. We'll tell you everything you need to know. Get you partnered up for block walking, and then you'll be on your way. So 9 a.m. And then you'll actually start block walking probably about a half an hour after that. You'll kind of leave the Los Cucos and head out. And then once you
And the
finish
area that they're going to be walking, is it around the Clay Road area? Is that an area?
for that block walk, it may be a little bit more spread out, but it's generally in the southern part of the district. So that
Okay.
general vicinity there.
And you said that pretty much, I mean, a lot of people may be like, I've never done this before. I don't want anybody, hurting me or harming me. So have y'all had any bad experiences, or how safe is it?
Here's the thing is that we are knocking doors of, like I said, people that are friendly to us. And the scariest thing that has happened to me is that there were some loose dogs running in a neighborhood once. And so I had to loop back around. I just hit another street and came back around. But in terms of people, it's all been really safe, really. And we're walking on a Saturday morning, so it's not, like it's
Yeah.
dark.
And the weather's perfect because it's so cool. It's not so hot,
Yeah.
in the daytime. And I guess maybe to come prepared for that, would they bring like a bottle of water or some spray?
So we ask people to bring water. We'll have some bottled water as well, but to bring
Okay.
water and sunscreen, sometimes bug spray. Since it had been so hot, the mosquitoes hadn't been so bad, but I'm thinking that they might pick back up again now that it's cooled off some. And when you sign up, if you go to our website and you sign up to Block Walk, you will get email reminders. So you don't have, we keep it and has what to bring in there.
Okay.
So you'll also need to bring your smartphone. That's important because we use an app that keeps track of, logs all of the doors, tells you what door is next, tell you who you're asking for at that household. And then we keep track of who we've talked to, who's supporting, who said they're going to come out to vote, and all that good stuff.
And that's what I'm so excited about too, because you guys, along with Representative Rosenthal and Otis and everybody, you all have the information about the district already, and you have already researched and know where the safest places are that are friendly, and you have designated. So we're just not going out blindly to do this, right? You guys have strategized this and studied and prepared for the people to go. Correct?
Yes, and not just in terms of like, certainly we are prioritizing safety and things like that, but also in terms of like strategy wise, like, do we want to fight for the same old 11% of voters who turn out every single time, or do we want to go find those voters who show up to vote in the big like presidential elections, but don't generally vote in these smaller, lower turnout local elections? We need to find those people and go say, hey, friend, this one's important too. Let me tell you why it's important. Remember all that crazy stuff you're seeing on the news? Let me tell you, when I knock on the door, trying to think about like, what do we say to these people? Also, there's a script. You don't have to know what to say. The little app tells you exactly what to say. Yeah. But what we've learned is that you start by just saying like, hey, there's a school board election coming up and it's really crucial. Have you seen all that crazy stuff on the news about book banning and CRT and wokeism and all that crazy nonsense? We're trying to protect Sci-Fair ISD from that. And honestly, that's all you have to tell them. And they're like,
and because the purpose of doing this, guys, is to just find, like you said, the voters who are not informed and they don't know, and to get them informed and involved. And that's just telling that little story is going to get them informed, and then they'll want to get involved. So that's really good. The other thing you just said, and I wrote this down because I think y'all got a little prejudice going on here against people who don't have smartphones. So if I don't have a smartphone, I just need to bring me a partner or borrow somebody's phone because mine is not.
And honestly, if you don't have a smartphone and you want to block walk, come anyway. We'll partner you up with someone who does, and then we're good to go. Right? We can definitely work around technology if that's we don't want that to be a barrier for anybody. And speaking of barriers, if block walking, some people can't be out right now. I'm not out block walking today because I'm on some medication that I can't be out in the sun. Right. And so I got to wait till I'm done with this round of antibiotics. But I can phone bank. And so on our website, there's also an opportunity to sign up to volunteer, and you'll let us know, like, I want to phone bank, I want to call people, I want to block walk, I want to poll greet. And then we'll reach out to you and get you the information you need, say, to phone bank. So if you're somebody who can't go out and do block walking for mobility reasons, for timing reasons, for whatever, if that's just not your thing, make some phone calls for us, right? And you can spend 5-10 minutes here and there making a couple of phone calls. Again, same thing. There's a script. You click, did you call? What they say, and then you move on to the next one. So
Right.
that's going to be an opportunity. And once early voting starts, which starts on the 23rd of October through the 3rd of November, and then on election day, November 7th, we're going to have volunteers at the polling locations greeting voters, right? All within the rules, all within the law. But to tell folks that are showing up, hey, do you know about the school board election? Because some folks will be showing up just they heard about the constitutional amendments and they won't know about the school board election. So we'll have people there handing out little tiny push cards, like business card size things that they can take in and say, here's our endorsed candidates. Head on in and vote. And we've talked with folks. One of the things that we've been doing is talking with folks around the state who've had school board elections since our last one, like in the interim between then and now, who have been successful and said, what did you do? Let us cheat off of you.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Well, I was just sitting here thinking, I really think that the little business card, we first did it with Bishop I came in with that idea. I was like, this is because I can put it in my purse. And we started doing that with his selection. And you can always pass them out to people real easily than the big ones. And so I'm noticing that this next election, it seems like everybody almost has those little cards. I'm happy to have shared it because, God gave me that idea and it worked. It's just, it's easy if people would do that. So I want to just ask you a couple of other things because you all are just so informed here. Because I know this is a fear of some people too. The rules have changed so much, and to the voting, to inhibit people from voting, to intimidate people. So what kind of, or do you go over the rules of what to do, what not to do, so they won't come, say you broke a rule? What are the new rules, or do you know any of those? You are either Representative Rosenthal, please.
Well, there are you talking about for like if they're doing block walking or poll greeting? What rules specifically are you?
I think pretty much. I don't think there's really very many with with the walking, but that day we want people to come and sign up and work the polls.
Okay.
Or get people to the polls. I know we can't do souls to the polls anymore in the churches, correct?
I wonder if, John, are you still here? Because I know that there's like a boundary of so many feet you have to be away to stand, but John may have a better sense.
Yeah,
so you can do souls to the polls. That's not.
Can do that because that's a big question. Churches
they went after it. They tried to outlaw that, and there was such an uproar that.
So we can do souls to the polls.
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of churches are asking. I said, I know there was a big thing about it. I don't want anybody to get in trouble, but
we can do it, and
And so is there not anything else? I mean, you all would inform us. So if there's anything else, but I know we can't to stand behind the marker. We can't offer food to the people in line, and that's
so we can. The way that it works is any election activity has to happen more than 100 feet away from the door of the location.
And they mark them. Yeah.
And they mark them. They put markers out there. It's 100-foot minimum. The election judge, whoever's running that, directing stuff at the facility where you happen to be, will put those markers up. It's a minimum of 100 feet. So like we can't wear our campaign gear. If I'm wearing my name on my shirt and stuff, I can't
go inside to vote like that.
But we can talk to people in the parking lot. We can hand them out literature. We can give them cards like this that have,
Now what kind of card is that you have there? I see you got some cards. What is that?
So this is literature I have printed that's got my own endorsed candidates on it, and people can take these.
Yeah, too. You all have push cards and things like that. I know y'all have door knockers. We don't have to bring any flyers. We just need to come.
Right.
You just show up and we'll
got
get everything.
Our stuff to hand out.
Okay.
It is fun. If you are feeling tentative, just walk with me or one of my people. You know what I mean? We do not ask you to go out by yourself the very first time you do this, but you'll see how fun it is. One of the challenges we have is to end a conversation at the door. People want to talk to you.
I want to keep you talking, keep you at that door.
Yeah, and it's fun to have the conversation, right? But it's just like, I'm sorry, I got to get to the next door.
Move on.
100 today,
Okay. And we've got another lady that's going to come on right quick. So don't y'all go away because we got to talk about the big dates that are coming up and the big fundraisers and rallies and things that are coming up. So don't go away. I want to bring on Angela Martin Greer. Hello, Sister Angela.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us. And I wanted invited Angela because she is a community activist to get people with registered to vote and get people to come out as well and know about what their rights are. And just tell us what you're doing as your community activist group. I know you have a group of people that are now doing early voter registration and stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about what your group is doing?
Sure. What we're doing is we're actually trying to raise awareness for this season. As you mentioned before, voting is usually much lower during a non-presidential election. So just trying to show people why it's important that they vote now, in addition to just voting for, the president and people, because all is local. So it's what is affecting you in your community. And so what we is by educating folks, allowing them to develop a clue why these issues are important to them will help raise awareness, so raise voter engagement. So what we've been doing up to this point is trying to make sure that everyone is registered to vote. It doesn't take but a few minutes. All you need is some type of identification, live in the state of Texas. We're registering people for Harris County. So if you have that identification, your address, we can have you fill out a form and you can become registered. The last day to register to vote is October 10th. So in a couple of days, that will be the deadline to get registered. Once you're registered, there's information available as far as what's on the ballot. So we've got the constitutional amendment propositions and we've got the school board elections. So all of those things are important and affect you directly. So that's why we're trying to educate folks on how they can get engaged and understand how that affects their communities.
Okay, I want to go back on one thing you just said real quickly. I know the time is quickly approaching where people will not have time to register to vote. So if you can give us a link or something that we can put up here and kind of spread the word, because I know that if you're going to be 18 by the day of election and you're 17, you can still register your high school students. So can you just speak a little bit about that right quick for me?
Sure. If you're age 17 and 10 months, then you are eligible to register to vote. So what you would need to do is just go to the www.votes.com, and on that website on how you can get registered. There's various events around the county, have voting registrars that will be able to take your information. If you've never register to vote, you have to do that in person because they need to be able to confirm and verify that you are who you say you are. If you've registered and you've moved, you have to update that information online on the website. But if anyone over there, I'm sorry?
I said that's important too, that you get your address current so you can do that before the election, and they can do that. Is that any time or just doing your before they get through with voter registration? Can you just change your address anytime? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, you can change your address anytime, but if you want it to be effective for your voting election, you need to do it by the 10th to the polls, and you have not updated your information, they will have you step aside and fill out a separate. You can then vote, but it's best to do that ahead of time.
I agree, because if I stood in that long line to vote, I don't want you telling me step aside. I want to get on in there. I'm finally here, so that could keep you from having a little problem, a little issue and attitude going on up there. You feel like somebody's doing you wrong. Well, thank you for sharing that. And you all, please, if you all can need any more information, put it in the chat right quick. We've got to move, and I know, Suzanne, you stay on too because you know information about this. Representative Rosenthal said about it earlier. And I get embarrassed when I go in there because all I know is just the person to vote for, but I don't know about these different, what do you call them, the constitutional amendments. So can we talk about those right quick? Representative Rosenthal, Angela, whoever knows about those.
Well, I'm going to talk about those. Rosenthal. I'm sure he knows more
Okay.
about those than I do.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So
Informative.
we have 14 propositions on the ballot this time, and they range from here. I got a little too long, didn't read.
Yeah, just one of the important ones that I know when I was been going out is one about teachers and retired teachers, because I'm a retired teacher. I kind of want to know about those and the money in the schools. And can you
Right.
start a
So
couple of them?
let me run through them really quick. Proposition
Okay.
one is the right to farm. And actually, anybody who wants any more information about this, I'm going to put out a graphic on social media that has the top line. Here's
Shelley says Proposition 14. Is that the one that talks about teachers? This is Shelley. She's talking about Proposition 14.
Proposition 14 is a state park fund.
State park. Oh, she walked. She's a girl trek. So that's a state park one that she's saying yes to. She wants you to say yes to. Go ahead.
So I am a yes on all of them except for number 3, which is a constitutional amendment preventing a wealth tax. That is just because it's crazy. There is no wealth tax in Texas or in any other state of the union. I do not understand why we would commit state resources to saying, no, we don't want this tax that we already don't have. So that one. Number 1 is right to farm. Number 2 is tax exemption for child care agencies. So we're looking to lower the cost of child care with that, which is good.
Okay, we definitely want to lower child care. We have, golly, that's really crazy. When you said number 1, I got a little confused. Now, the only one you said that's kind of questionable here is number 3, but all the rest of them seem to be okay.
No. Number 3 and number 12 are both bad.
And number 12. Now, what does number 12 say?
Number 12 eliminates a constitutional office of the Galveston County Treasurer's Office. And it's a crazy thing. Yeah, it's weird. And the treasurers across the state oppose this. There's a guy that ran for office down there in Galveston Island, and that was his whole platform. But what it does is it removes a constitutional protection for his people. So the commissioner's court, your county treasurer is the person that holds the purse strings for your commissioner's court. So you have a check and balance there for someone who is elected. And then
we had our county treasurer at my conference for the Tea Talk. For the Women's Feet of Jesus conference. So, so I'm all about that county treasurer. I'm kind of getting up on it now, and she's a powerful woman, a Black woman, and she's got a miracle testimony story there. So we're not gonna go over that, but I just got to get shout out to her.
So Proposition 4 is your property tax relief that will elevate the homestead exemption and actually provide, for a change, some meaningful tax relief to homeowners.
Oh, we want that one, right?
We do.
Yeah.
Proposition 5 is a Texas University Fund, which will put some money into our, particularly into our community colleges and stuff. So we
definitely want that one.
In favor of that. Number 6 is a water fund, and this is just putting money into the Water Development Board that we changed the role of that Water Development Board a couple sessions ago so that they could coordinate statewide mitigation and responses to flooding and natural disasters and stuff.
We definitely need that.
This is good. Proposition 8 is a new infusion of money into the Texas Broadband Fund, which will help to bring broadband to our inner cities in our rural areas, which are the areas.
Explain broadband. Now, what's broadband? I'm sorry.
This is high-speed internet access.
That's what I thought. I just want to make sure. Internet.
So most of us people in suburbia, people watching this, for example, we don't have this problem, but in inner city environments and in some rural areas, there's a lack of access to high-speed internet, and it affects everything from schools to hospitals, ambulances, all that
area. That's good to know. That's why I wanted you to come on and tell this. Because I would have skipped all of this because I don't have time to read all of it. But I just wanted my audience to know what these are. And so these are all good with the flooding and everything.
That's right. And let me tell you this next one. If you don't remember anything else, in this conversation today, Proposition 9 is a cost of living adjustment for retired teachers.
Oh yes, that's the one.
That they have been fighting for it's been, I think it's 18 years since they've had a cost of living adjustment.
And there's rainy fund money there and stuff. Like, why can't the teachers get paid? I mean, it's like, really, okay, don't get me started on the teachers, but
me too, right?
I go to fight for these teachers, and they take care of our children, our most valuable resource. We need to let up on these teachers and give them what they need and quit putting our foot on their neck. Okay.
Number 10 is a tax exemption for medical equipment, sanitary products, and stuff for seniors.
Seniors? Okay, I got that.
And so in this state for generations, women have been taxed unfairly on products that they use, that they require, and so this takes away the tampon tax. If you don't
I love it. Number 10 is taking away that tampon tax.
Yes. Proposition 11 is a particular bond issue for El Paso County. So while I support the bond that they're trying to raise money for their area, it really doesn't have anything to do with us in Harris County. But because of the constitutionality of what they're doing, they have to have it on a statewide ballot.
I see.
And then 12, like I said, is the Galveston County deal, eliminating their treasurer, which to me is just crazy.
You put that on the ballot, like crazy.
Number 13 raises the mandatory age for judges to retire. So people are working later in life now, and this just allows judges to continue working a few more years if they're feeling that. It doesn't require them to. And then Proposition 14 is a state park fund, because this came about because during the session it was clear that some of our state parks are long-term private leases. So you have a state park that actually is owned by a public entity on a 99-year lease. And when it comes due, if they want to put a shopping center there, they can. So this really is going to help to stabilize some of the parks and
definitely
in the state.
Wonderful. Thank you for reviewing those for us. Now let's get ready to talk about the upcoming dates and all of the elections cost money. We got a big fundraiser coming up that we're all partnering with, and in conjunction with the walk on the 21st. Let's get some special days. Yes, dinner with the DR. Yeah, the doctor. So this is, we've got our picture up there too with Representative Rosenthal, because we are helping to support this. Can you tell us about this? Is a big fundraiser that we're going to be doing for Dr. Cleveland Lane, who is, one of our selected representatives that we are, candidates that we are backing. So talk about this, Rep. It's going to be great. I want everybody to come and pass the word.
It is going to be great. Dr. Lane is a great guy. He's all about education. His whole entire adult life has been committed to public education. Right. And this is an opportunity for those of you that have never tried the station. This is the Station Seafood Company on Highway 6, just north of West Road. Uh-huh. And that is a local hero that runs that place. His name is Trey Thomas. He's a beautiful human being, wonderful God-fearing man with a heart of gold. He played defensive back for University of Texas Longhorns. So if you happen to be a Longhorn fan, he also played in the NFL for a few seasons, but just a great person. The food there is great. So it's just a total win-win. We get to promote the restaurant. We get to promote Dr. Lane. We get to raise money for resources in this election. And this is going to be October the 14th from 6 to 8. Anything that you contribute will go directly into the race. And also, all you have to do is eat there, and 20% of the proceeds from the event will also be contributed.
Yes. And those that don't know, it's a fish place, catfish and all those kind of things, which we love to eat. And it's just great food. He's an African-American guy, but he's a good guy, and he makes good seafood. And so
good seafood. And let me tell you about beignets that are made out of peach bread pudding beignets. I just cannot even describe these things. They're so good.
He has that there. I've never had that before. He does have that beignets.
Yes, beignets made out of bread pudding, made out of peach bread pudding.
That
Oh
sounds
dear
like
Lord.
a sin right there.
I don't know how Trey stays so slim and trim making all this good food, but somehow he does.
Uh-huh. Well, listen, let's go by and support him and support Dr. Lane. This is great for him to open up his restaurant to be able to do that and to give back. He is inside Fair, right there on the corner where it's West Road and Highway 6. It's in that area. So that's to kind of give you a little marker right near West Road. And the food is wonderful. So I tell you one thing, once you start eating there, you're going to continue. But the big thing is that this is going to be a big rally for us. We're going to be doing the block walking, if that's the right word, the door knocking, as we call it. We're going to be bringing donations. So bring some money, bring people, and support these two wonderful men, Dr. Lane and also the gentleman who's catfished them. What is his name again? I'm sorry.
Trey Thomas.
Trey Thomas. Okay, y'all remember that name, Trey Thomas. And it's called Catfish Kitchen, right?
The Station Seafood Company.
Okay, Station. The Station. Yeah. I'm visual, so I have to write down the Station Seafood Company, right?
Yes.
All right. And
I promise you try their food, you will be there I go there almost every week now.
Okay. So October 14th at what time?
6 to 8 p.m.
6 to 8. Okay. So come on out. We will be there. Bishop is going to be there. All of our people that we know are going to be there. We're going to flood that parking lot. We're going to have a rally. We're going to raise some money, and we're going to get people signed up. Okay, let's talk about the next part. Before we leave, I want to talk about how important it is for us to rally enough volunteers to man the voting places. I would like for us to volunteer. You can take that day off from work, take it off. You take it off for everything else, and just you can take shifts. Work from 7 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. Then a new group comes in from 2 to 7. That there's somebody there. There's these major polls. Now, when I work the polls, I work them from sun up to sundown. You know, we have a little lunch. We bring you lunch, Ro. You don't take a lunch break. They bring you some chicken and sodas or whatever, water, and you eat. And you continue to work it. So dedicate one day to, and I'm saying one day, that's the day of voting, but and so I want you to do that, but let's talk about early voting. What do y'all want the people to do? Tara, Representative Rosenthal, y'all all get in here at the end and tell us what to do to make sure we get everybody out, and we make sure that who comes out, we touch them with a card to make sure they vote for the right person.
So we're going to be organizing exactly what you were just talking about, Lady O. So if you guys go to our website, under that election tab at the top of the website, it'll say sign up to volunteer or volunteer form or something, and fill that out. It's a Google form, and click poll greeter. And then we will email you. We're going to do exactly what you talked about. We're going to have shifts, and we're going to identify all the various polling locations and make sure that we've got coverage at each of the polling locations throughout early voting. I know that during the last school board election, that was the first time I've ever done poll greeting, was through you guys, for Bishop O. And it was actually a really fun thing to do. And so if you're interested in that, that's how you can let us know, and then we'll reach out to you. There will be something called a Sign Up Genius that we'll send out that has all the shifts and the locations, and you can pick one that's convenient to you, or you can, mix it up and go to a different part of the area and meet some new folks. But we really need all boots on the ground in all the ways. So
perfect. Okay, next, Angela, you go next. Let Rosenthal close it out. I'm letting you rep. I'm letting you close it out. Go ahead, Angela. I think you're connecting or shifting people in groups to move to maybe to what Tara is, connecting them up. Is that correct?
Yes, we've been notifying folks that they can do phone banking, text banking, block walking, and of course, working at the various polling locations. Again, last day to early vote is from October 23rd through November 3rd. Last day to register to vote is October 10th. And then the last day to request a mail-in ballot is October 27th. And of course, election day is November 7th. So reach out to everybody all the groups that you're affiliated with, and let them know if they need additional information. They can reach out to us with RCDC. Obviously, contact Representative Rosenthal or Cy Fair Strong Schools that has additional information. So thank you.
Very good. All right, Rep, you closing it out here.
Okay. So definitely come to the fundraiser, meet Dr. Lane and Trey Thomas. It's going to be a lot of fun on election day. So first, if folks want to walk with me and my teams, I'm focused on House District 135. So I'll be in the southern part of my district. So south of 529, between 529 and Clay Road, between Highway 6 and Highway 99.
Are you every week too? Are you every, because I know.
I am every Saturday and Sunday until election day. Every Saturday and Sunday until election day, we'll be walking. I feed folks.
To have
I got sunscreen, all that.
People too, right?
Oh, you listen. People come out either to work or to volunteer. I make sure everybody is fed. That's why my fundraiser is going to be at the Station Seafood Company. We are making sure that people eat. And the other thing is, for the poll greeting, I have a team. We'll be at several locations. I personally will probably be at the Richard and Meg Weekly Community Center over on Greenhouse and Logan Bow, which is where my new district office is going to be. But I'm going to be in the parking lot there, and I promise I will have snacks. I will have music. We make it a party in the parking lot on election day. So we're gonna engage the people, hand out cards. You know, it'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Now, Representative Rosenthal, I got a question in the chat. Make sure you say that we put that in there. Where do they find out how to join your group? Is there a website or location that they can call or look up?
So actually, I'm doing this. I'm actually doing it myself. So all you got to do is if you got my number, text me. If you want to find me on Facebook or Twitter or Threads or whatever, I answer direct messages there. I'm also John R at johnrosenthaltx.com, JONR at johnrosenthaltx.com, and you can shoot me an email. I answer all of the above. And and if this was too quick for you, you can get in touch with me through Cy-Fair Strong Schools, Lady O, Bishop O. All y'all got my phone number. Feel free to give it out to your members. I'll call or text me anytime you want.
Well, we'll get it to you. Just let us know, and we've got it up there. You know, my Tisha and she and
you got it.
They got it up there already. They already said it's got in there. John R. and hey, I can't even move it. They're moving so fast, but they got your number up there, and where they can get in touch with each of you. Cy-Fair Strong, your information up there was Tara, and also Angela, your information is up there. We'll get it all out. The main thing is that you can even respond to this particular show, because we know that people watch it every day at different times. So we'll kind of keep it monitored. If you want to be a part, just reach out to us. You can also reach out to me. If you do the inbox or whatever, I will respond. Just let us know. And then if you want to also go to Dr. Lane's website, you can volunteer there. And so do y'all have Dr. Lane's website address up there? I'm sorry, I don't know it right off the top of my head, but if anybody does, please put it in there. Just let us know. I know it's on his Facebook page and all of that stuff. So Dr. Cleveland Lane is his name for Cy-Fair School Board. So go in there. I know his team would love to have you come and walk with them. They will give you information. There's his information there. And whatever you do, don't miss the dinner. This is our big day that we're pushing, guys. And that's October 14th there from 6 to look, it says 8 p.m. And it tells you everything there. So please don't forget, save it on your calendar. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to eat, we're going to give, and we're going to make sure that we make our voice known, and our feet will be on the grounds to make sure that we get our candidates winning and on the board of Cy-Fair ISD. Well, listen, that's all for now. I have enjoyed having you today. Thank you to all of my guests. Reach out to us. The main thing is make yourself ready and willing to make a change and make an impact on the vote that's coming up in November. That's all for now. Thank you for joining Tea Talk with Lady O. I'll see you next Sunday for more relevant and real topics. Bye for now.